as soon as it uploads and we're ready to go. So let's get started. Before I screw up the introduction, Andy and Leslie, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourselves and just let us know how long you've been with Keller and your involvement in the whole Keller Williams world.
Leslie is the matriarch, so I'm going to let her go.
So I've been in real estate for 15 years. I got in October 2005 as a part-time agent and had a really fast start. Was rookie of the year my first year, had our first baby. And it grew so quickly that I literally begged this guy to get in for like 2 years. And he finally joined me in
2008 seemed like a great time to get into real estate.
Yeah, it was.
Andy, why is it that guys listen so slowly?
I know, man.
It's like the women have it all down. It's the same thing with my wife. She said, honey, you should start a Facebook group instead of doing a blog for lab coat agents. I'm like, no, that's a stupid idea. And then, Leslie, great job.
Thanks. Yeah. He was my best hire.
That's right. Yeah, we have a team of 14 now. We're a $100 million team consistently. 2013 was the first year we grossed $1 million, which we've done every year since then. 2018 was the first year we netted $1 million. In 2017, I took over 3 market centers in the Metro Atlanta area as operating partner. So that's kind of my day job. And I'm kind of like a grandparent on the team. I'll come in, but I can't stay very long. And I usually mess people up when I come in. But I do enjoy coming back when they let me come back. Still coach a few people on the team.
And I'm fully immersed in the team every single day. I absolutely love the team. And I honestly, like Andy will say, you should be a team leader. And I'm like,
great team leader.
I mean, it's tempting, right? Yet I feel like I'm the team leader kind of the team. And I love that. Like, it's like my baby, Tristan, and you can't drop your baby. Like, you just can't leave your baby. And so, that's my baby.
Yeah. And if you do the production team the right way, the profitability is far greater than the market center. That's the best gig going.
That's such a great point, because one of the questions that we always get asked is, well, why don't you just take over an office since you guys are doing so great? Now, I haven't done as great as you because I've had $100 million years, and then I've gone down and then up and then down. So I want to talk about that consistency that you guys have had over the last, 7 years or so with that number, because that's a question for me specifically. What is the reasoning behind that consistency? What do you think is that secret?
I think it's people.
Yeah.
I think it's if you have people, you're constantly pouring into them, right? You're creating value for them. And if you create an environment that they don't want to leave, that's how you create consistency. And you're kind of producing an army of I think we've made the mistake of trying to surround ourselves with like every possible personality profile because, we're missing D, let's, hire that. And that's generally not the right way to go about it. The best way to go about finding people that really thrive in your environment is, do they pass the barbecue test? Like, is it people that you would want to hang out with? I won't say everybody believes the same thing that we do, but everybody does it kind of the way we do it.
Well, and speaking to that, I don't think it's just people on your team, right? I think the consistency we've always been 80% repeat and referral business. And so it's that database business that has supported us. So when you're hiring people on your team, you have to have an army of you, because like last night, I had a good friend reach out and say, hey, Les, I need to buy and sell. Can you call me? I call her and I'm selling her on our listing agent and our buyer's agent. And it's so easy because I have full faith that they can take care of her better than I can. And they're like me, right? So I think that is just so important, is you've got to feel good about who you're turning your friends over to. And if you're 80% repeat and referral, like somebody can't screw up. And the minute you say, oh my gosh, I don't know that this person can handle it, I don't know that this buyer's agent is going to do as good a job as me, then you've got the wrong person.
It's a big aha. Yeah, we motivated people and magnetic people, right?
I call it the M&M.
That's what we look for.
I like that. That goes along with what Nikola Tesla was saying, right? It's the vibrations, and I love that. That's so cool.
It's funny. M&M. One day I was in the shower where I do my best thinking, and I hop out and Andy's in the other room, and I'm like, Andy, I've got it. I was like, I've thought of every single person on our team, and I've thought of the most successful ones.
Yeah.
And what separates the successful ones from just the average ones? And I was like, they're magnetic. They have big databases. People follow them, right? I'm always looking at how many Instagram followers they have. How many Facebook friends do they have? If they're magnetic, but they can't just be magnetic, right? They've got to be super motivated too.
Have a big why, right?
And a big why behind it. So for us, Tristan, I mean, this is going to sound a little sexist, but some of our most motivated people on our team are moms who are the breadwinners in their households.
They also have a chip on their shoulder, right? That, you know,
so true. That's such a great point, because I have a friend, her name is Amanda. She's also with Keller Williams up north Sacramento area. And she said the same thing. She said, look, Tristan, I was a single mom when I started skyrocketing in this business. And she goes, I don't want to be sexist, or don't get me wrong here, but I only hire single moms because they get the job done. And I'm like,
hardest job out there.
I didn't think of that. And you're right. It's like they just want to drive through. It's like they have something to prove and they're going to make it happen. So it's a very, very strong statement. I love that.
We definitely have moms on the team that, you know, will cry when they think about their opportunity that, well, really a lot of them are on the operations side, some on the sales side, but a lot of operations, hardworking moms. And I can't imagine not having them on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Lee says 100% moms who don't have time to mess things up. They know, they know they have to focus.
Efficiency.
Yeah.
That's so true. Jeff Anderson's on too. He's a mega producer out of the Long Beach area too.
Yeah.
He says to
you. Oh, look at that. Telling me about the TL role. Yeah.
Yeah. Previous comment. All right. Let's get to the good stuff. Although I want to just talk to you guys for hours on that, but let's talk about this online event, because I think over the last 7 months, I think you guys have done a great job in perfecting it, right? Or getting it closer and closer to
better. Yeah, I don't know that we'll ever reach perfection.
I want to hear how you've gotten it better, right?
Yeah.
Where did you start? Where did the idea come from, and how did you gravitate it to where it's at now?
Necessity is the mother of invention, isn't it? We're a team that's built on database and specifically built around face-to-face, belly-to-belly, toe-to-toe events. Our whole lead generation structure is not about who do you know that wants to buy and sell real estate. It's about, hey, we're having an awesome pumpkin patch and we thought about you and your family and we would love to have you as our special guest. Can I count on you?
And it really started, in COVID we were out in Vegas with our kids on spring break and went to the Grand Canyon, and all this COVID stuff hits and we're like, oh, this isn't a big deal. And our director of marketing calls us and she's like, Leslie, I really think we're going to have to cancel our Easter egg hunt. And I said, oh no, we're not canceling it. And then within a week we're home and everything shut down and we're canceling it. And it's like, how can we pivot and go virtual? And Tristan, to be honest, at first it started with, okay, we have 1,500 Easter eggs stuffed and we're going to deliver them to people's homes. And we went through our VIP list of people with small children. We put Easter eggs in Peter's Company bags and hung them on the doors of all of our VIPs. And so that was kind of the first virtual move, was not even like Zoom. Because I think so many of us think, okay, virtual, it has to be a technology platform. And I don't necessarily think that it has to be a technology platform. It could.
Well, the other thing that we know is that if we're doing these kind of virtual or socially distanced events, you really got to do about twice as many of them as you would face to face. The reality is they're generally going to be smaller. Granted, that could be a limiting belief, but they're going to be a little bit more granular and specific, which is an opportunity, right? That's an opportunity for you to really, really go deep on a particular subject with a particular segment or group of people. And so you just got to do more of them.
So the Easter egg hunt didn't happen, yet it did happen in some capacity, a virtual capacity. And we thought, oh my gosh, that was really successful. We had people tagging us on Facebook like, you guys are incredible. I mean, who delivers 125 bags to your VIPs? And we had a great call to action on it. And so we get back, we did that, and then the city freezes. And it's like, you can't go anywhere for weeks. And thankfully, real estate in Atlanta was still an essential business, but we immediately pivoted to virtual open houses. And I think we were some of the first people in Atlanta that pivoted to virtual open houses really quickly.
I'll be honest, what's so funny about that to me, Tristan, is like we were kind of doing that before. We just didn't call it a virtual open house. So a lot of like what we've done related to COVID is you take what you already do and you just like slap an extra page in the book, right? We have a COVID-19 seller protection plan, which by the way is our listing presentation that has one page on what do we do differently? How have we thought through a plan to keep you and your family safe and still take advantage of the market? And that's the one pager, right? We have the COVID-19 buyer protection plan, which is our buyer consultation packet that we go through every single buyer in a consult with one extra page, right? This is how we keep you protected and safe in this type of an environment. So
I love that.
Yeah. So it's really not like we're not reinventing the wheel. It's just that adaptation. And what we know, especially, seeing this, observing this, is there's so much uncertainty. People just wanted a plan, right? They just needed to, you can't tell people that it's okay. You have to show people it's okay.
And that really goes to our first virtual event.
Yeah.
Because Andy and I told our whole team, we're like, okay, we are still working. Like, this is not a snow day. Like, we are up every day and we're lead generating, and our people need us more than ever. You're not out showing a ton of houses. Like, get on the phones and check on people. And that first week, as we're lead generating, we were really listening to our database. And I think that's the key. What's your database telling you? And all of them were saying, oh no, is this a repeat of 2008? Are we going back into a huge recession? And so immediately, Andy and I did two things. First, I recorded a PowerPoint that I made. It was from
Keeping Current Matters.
Keeping Current Matters early on came up with like 8 ways that this is not like 2008 and it's different. And so I put that into a quick PowerPoint for our database and recorded it. And we used that in our newsletter. So that was the first thing, that it was like virtual interaction for them. We posted it on YouTube, posted it on our social media channels. And then we got such amazing response out of that I said to Andy, I'm like, you know what? We should do like a fireside chat. And so we turned on the fire on a Thursday night at 5 o'clock. We went live on Facebook. We advertised it. We had everyone tune in, and we just talked to people about the market. We talked to them about what we were seeing. I mean, we were putting a house under contract every single day during the midst of COVID. In fact, since COVID started, we've sold 175 homes. So it's telling them that story and sharing it, because all they hear is bad, right? So this fireside chat was a way for us to connect to our community and give them down and dirty what's really happening. And it wasn't that dirty.
Well, yeah. And I think too, we want it to be perfect. And so that stops us from ever doing anything. But I mean, we had dogs jumping in our lap, and
it was actually a nightmare, if you want my honest opinion.
Leslie's drinking a glass of wine. I was sipping on some bourbon. Like, we were we were so casual. Like this was not.
We were sitting in front of this fireplace and our kids were taping us. And y'all, our kids are 13 and 11 and
So
they think
good.
we're hashtag cringy, whatever that means.
Yeah, my daughter calls me, that's cringy, Dad. I'm like, what is that? What is that?
And Veda's like, you make us cringe. And they said, you guys are so weird. And the whole time they're making fun of us behind the camera. But we had our daughter who was 11, our son was filming, and our daughter who's 11 is reading us the questions that people are asking. So it was so funny, Tristan, like right after that, I actually got a call from a client and they said, we just watched that whole thing. It was amazing. We're working with a buyer's agent on your team. Can you just talk to us a little more about the market? I mean, immediately after. So I think you just have to lean in and say, what am I hearing when I'm lead generating? Right now, what are we hearing? Downsizing.
Well, we're hearing downsizing, and you're starting to get the elections coming up, right? And the response to that obviously is the market is so strong right now. We know what it looks like right now. We know buyers are winning. We can show them and tell that story. We know sellers are winning. We can show that and tell that story. We don't know what it's going to look like after first week in November, right? We really have no clue as to how that's going to impact things. So we look at it as we have a window. We have a window. The clock is ticking right now where we have about 6 weeks where we can really, really take advantage of the now. And after that, all bets are off. I mean, I think everything will probably change a little bit slower, but you never know.
Our market's so hot in Atlanta. If they're going to wait till the spring, which is what you get right now, right? We're just going to wait till the spring when there's more inventory. Well, how do you know there's going to be more inventory, right? Now's the time.
Well, one thing that stands out from what you're saying, and I want just people to just refocus on that, and that was the ability that you have to be aware of what people are talking about. And I think it's almost, unfortunately, it's contradictory to what most agents do because they feel like, oh yeah, I got this. I know what people really want, and they're not listening. And I think it's a detriment because you took the time to listen to your people and say, I understand, just like what you're doing right now and saying, I understand, I know what they really want. So then with this fireside chat, are you going to continue this online virtual thing with the fireside chat, like through the next few months? How does that look?
Yeah, Leslie and I both do a video. We alternate months giving kind of a market update. And we've continued to do that. But the fireside chat thing is definitely something that I think should be a tradition.
Even if you do it quarterly.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love that.
I think it's just important for, we send out a lot of, you send out a lot of postcards too, Tristan, right? We send a lot of postcards. We send a lot of newsletters. We're certainly inviting people to events, but let's face it, only about 10% of our database comes to events.
And that's in person. It's even less virtually.
Yeah. I just think it's really important for people to look into your eyes and see that you're authentic and you're genuine and that you're normal. So we've got to figure out a way. And again, back to this idea that we have a plan, right? We're not going to let you down. Here are all the examples of how we've helped people, even despite what's going on. And I think we've got to continue that plan changes like every 30 days, doesn't it? I mean, what we can do, what we can't do, what the market's doing, what the economic environment looks like, what the political environment looks like, what the civil unrest situation looks like. I mean, everything is changing.
I love that you're saying that because it does. And the tool that you brought up, Leslie, which was Keeping Current Matters, that kind of helps us stay on top of it to show more on the technical side and saying, hey guys, this is what's happening. And then you interpreted that and connected with your audience. So I love that part of it. So that's beautiful.
You guys live in paradise there in Southern California. And what we're finding right now is that everything is up for reevaluation. People's jobs, for the first time, we're seeing, we had 2 people from New York that relocated to Georgia. I talked to a guy that was relocating from Nashville, Tennessee. These are all people that all of a sudden they had freedom in their life because they were no longer tied to the physical location of their job. And their kids' schools have the option to go virtual, right? And yet we have these restrictions put on us from a travel standpoint. We're not able to enjoy some of the liberties that we have enjoyed in the past. I can't even travel to Europe, right? If I wanted to take my biannual trip to Europe, that's even in jeopardy. So I think what we're seeing, and certainly the message that we're conveying to people, is that if everything's being reevaluated, and we laughed about this in a meme, I think early on, like, is this a place you can see yourself being quarantined? Is this a place you see yourself being stuck for a while? And I think the answer for a lot of people, and certainly Gary gave us some stats at Mega Camp about this, the answer is no. Like, I want stuff. If I can't get this, I want that, right? And so there's a reason why pool starts are going bananas, and there's a year, wait. There's a reason why people are joining country clubs at an alarming rate to, play golf and tennis outside. People are just reevaluating everything. Renovations are going crazy. The contractors are bananas. So we got to be talking about that.
Yeah. And we've got to lean in. And so we've got to look at who's actually buying and selling right now and what's the theme. And are we telling that story to our entire database? So people connect with stories and emotion. And if we just say, oh, we've sold 175 houses since COVID. Well, one thing we're really noticing right now is a lot of our condo and townhome buyers are selling, or our condo and townhome owners are selling, right?
And they had better.
They want single family homes. So are we telling that story? We have a ton of move up buyers. So is there an opportunity for a move up seminar? Is there an opportunity for a downsizing seminar? Because we have a lot of people that have been furloughed and are having to downsize. So we just have to lean in and listen to our database. Does that answer the question, I think, Tristan?
It totally does, it takes me back to a question I had almost at the beginning, because it's important for those of us that are listening, is you're mentioning your database. And I know you have your database segmented because you talked about VIPs. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about VIPs? Because you said once the pandemic hit, you had this idea for Easter, and then you put bags or some type of an item at the front door only to your VIPs, which was 120 or so. Tell me how you decide that they're VIPs.
Oh, I love that question. You want me to take it?
Yeah.
I'm like, so data, I am like,
there's a couple of books you need to read first.
Yeah. Go.
Tell them to me.
Right. So you need and I'm sure you've read, Tristan, the automatic customer.
Yes.
Membership economy.
Yes. And yes, I have both of them.
Yeah. Those are two Gary books that, Gary always recommends from a database standpoint. Yep.
That's it.
So
I just finished this one. That was great.
Yeah, it's the reality is, and this is kind of a weird comment to make these days, but the people in your database don't all matter equally. in our world of equality and equity that we're talking about right now, it's not the way I don't mean that the way it sounds. The reality is there's people in your database that can give you more business than others. There's friends, quite honestly, that are your best friends and they'll never do business with you and never refer you.
True.
And so we've got to find a way to segment those people. And we look at who has the ability to refer us business and who has referred us business in the past. And we lump past clients into that as well.
Yeah. So let's talk about the segmentation.
Yeah.
Can we? So we, after reading this book several years ago with Gary, we thought, ooh, this is something we can do, because I mean, you guys heard the statistic on stage from Mega Camp. 54% of your database right now is willing to try someone else. They're willing to try.
It's crazy.
So our job is to create loyalty. And do you know what loyalty is? Not just that they're going to use you always, but they're going to use you again, even when you cost more money. So that's loyalty. They're going to use you even if you cost more money. So how do we create that loyalty? Through a membership type program. And so for us, we started it about 2 years ago. We call this group of people our Premier Opportunities program. They're in our Premier Opportunities program. And Premier Opportunities is we give them more opportunities than anyone else. And we really do it through events. So we started, and this was a little overkill, so don't do this, but we started by doing a special event from them every single month. And then we thought we were going to die. So we pulled it back.
This was an idea Gary posed, and I don't know that anybody ever did it. We were coaching with Abe Shreve at the time, and Abe was like, y'all do events really well. I think you can do this. And he challenged us and held us accountable to it.
And we did it. And so the first year was awesome. We did an event a month, but I mean, literally, like, it was just way too much. We were constantly doing an event for our VIPs, and then we were still doing our 5 events for our entire database. And then you add on community events, and it was too much. So we said, okay, every other month, so 6 months out of the year, we're going to do something special from our Premier Opportunities. So like this year, we did headshots in January. So we get our photographer to come in, they sign up, they come in, they have their headshot made. And so we just offer all of these different things. Maybe we've done a car wash, we've done a pet wash. We actually did a virtual style or COVID friendly style of it for them 2 weekends ago. And it was a photo shoot. It was family photo session. So we were in a park for 2 days. We had a photographer, they signed up. We did 25 families. So we had a photographer that shot 25 families photos in 2 days. And so we're just constantly offering them this, because here's the thing, guys, if they come to get their headshot and they come to your skeet shoot and they come get their family photos made and they're tempted to use Zillow, how guilty would they feel if they just went and sold their house on Zillow after they've taken advantage of all of your events? Right?
Yeah.
That's very true. Very true.
Highly.
I can't imagine that call, which would be hello. They'd be like, hi.
Yeah, there's limited availability for all of those events Leslie's talking about for the VIPs. And they book up. I mean, we have some events that book up in a day.
Yeah. They absolutely book up. So how they get on that list is they're a past client or they've sent us a referral.
You can actually, I'll put in, the Premier Opportunities page is still up, isn't it?
Oh,
we can try it.
Yeah, you can try it.
Ooh, that'd be awesome to take a look at that.
Just so y'all can see.
So every event goes up on this Premier Opportunities, and this is how they go in and they actually book the event. And so on the 15th of every other month, they get an email at noon that has the event and they can go in and sign up. So that's been really fun, and it's definitely generated more referrals. And we've been able to go virtual with it, clearly, or COVID friendly with it.
You know, the reason we're real big on cohesiveness. So the reason we call it Premier Opportunities is all around the mission of our team. The mission is we create massive opportunities for others through real estate. So we do that obviously for the clients, the customers that we represent. We do that for the people that are on our team. And then we do that for the charities that we're blessed to support within the Metro Atlanta area. So everybody wins, right? We want this to be about everybody else and not us.
I love that. So I'm looking at the website right now, and
is it up?
I love it. Premier Opportunities. Can you explain to us when you created this, how did you notify who was going to belong to it and not? And can you explain that whole conversation?
That was tough because
what do we have, about 1,200 past clients now?
There are 1,200 past clients.
Wow.
And if they don't use us again or they move outside the Atlanta area, we do not keep them on the list. But most of our team members were like, I think that they have to refer us every single year to be a part of this program. And we said, but there's so many people that if we offered this program, they could refer us more. So why don't we start at like 800 past clients and referrals, people that have given us referrals, and then we can always take it down and pull it back. So we can do this for a year or two and then see how it goes. And then we can say, hey, to stay a part of this program, haven't you enjoyed it, right? We've given you so many opportunities to stay a part of it. Here's what you have to do. You have to give us a referral every year, right? So we haven't gotten there yet, Tristan, but that's the plan. You've got to get them to experience it and enjoy it before, I mean, if you just say, oh, come enjoy our Premier Opportunities program and give us a referral a year.
Yeah. The first year you do it, people are like, what are you doing? Why are you renting out a nail salon? Why are we going skeet shooting? Like, what does this have to do with real estate?
You're taking me to a Braves game, like my entire family. You rented a whole section at the Braves game. Like, what? Right.
But I think the more exposure you get and you go live on Facebook at the event, or, you get a testimonial from somebody that attended or what have you, you can really create a buzz that way. And I think that's why now when the RSVP goes out, because they have to go to a link on our site,
Premier Opportunities page
to RSVP. And now unfortunately, we're disappointing people, right? We're creating a waiting list. And then we call a day or two before the event to confirm that they are planning to come. And then if they can't, something happens, which many times it does, we can pull from the wait list. So
we will get to the point where we have to trim down that list, but we want as many people as possible to experience the VIP experience first.
I love that a lot. And there are a couple of things that I took note of. One was that you're having them experience it first, kind of like big companies do the same thing. It's like, hey, here's a free trial, right? Take a look at it. Now we're asking for something back. And then it reminded me of Gary Vaynerchuk's book, which was Jab, Jab, Jab. Was it left hook or right hook? I don't remember. Yeah. But it's the same idea. You're giving and giving and giving, and then you're asking. Yeah. I love that. That's beautiful.
Tommy Choi in Chicago, a good friend of ours, puts it, you're going to the ATM and you're making deposits, and you got to make a lot of deposits before you can make a withdrawal.
So good.
I love that. Withdrawals, you'll go broke, right?
It's very true. A question from Ellen. First of all, Ellen loves you guys. She's already been.
Oh, Ellen, I need to get a massage chair. Yes, you're right.
And Ellen's asking, what are some of your closing gifts, or what are the closing gifts?
Boy, we've had some iterations of this one.
Ellen, woo, what a question. Okay, so our closing gift, actually last year, we pivoted when we started this big Premier Opportunities, actually 2 years ago, when we started the Premier Opportunities VIP program, we said nothing is a nice enough gift to get someone that's closing and using you to buy or sell a home. So
you can't give somebody something that is requisite enough of what they just did for you.
Right? So we decided, hey, you know what the gift is? A bottle of champagne. And then we wrapped a tag around it that said all of our VIP events for the next year. Oh. And it was, congratulations on buying your home or selling your home. You are now part of our VIP program. And because we can't ever thank you enough for your trust in us, this is the gift that keeps on giving. So this year, here are the 6 opportunities that you'll have that we're going to give back to you. And whether that's a nail salon, and, we name them actually and put the dates on the little tag. And then our team started saying, oh, the champagne's not enough. Can we do something a little different?
It's not a nice enough bottle of champagne.
Or we need to give VOOV to everybody. Well, you give VOOV and you do 250 closings. That's a lot of money, right? So we ended up ordering, I wish I had one. We ended up ordering a box of 4 wine glasses with our door knocker on it. And our door knocker is our logo. Andy will go grab one. And it's a little box of 4. It's wrapped in a box that says thank you. We tie a red ribbon on it and we put the tag on it. And the door, it doesn't have our logo, but it has the door knocker, because what does a door knocker do? It knocks on a door to open opportunities, right? And what's our mission? To create massive opportunities. So we really want this door knocker to be a theme. And so here's the glasses, and they get a set of 4 of these.
You see that with a door knocker on it?
Oh, yeah.
So everything we do has a door knocker on it. That's our cohesive
thing. So they get a box of those, and Ellen, they're super inexpensive. I think they're like $20 a box, 20, $25 a box. And then on top, And it looks a lot nicer than that, right?
It comes in a really pretty box that has thank you printed all over it, and you just
Throw
put
a red
bow.
ribbon on it, and yeah, and then on the top we still use the tag.
We actually R&D'd that from Andy Hannigan out of St. Louis. He sent us, I think we sent him a referral or did something, and he sent us some Andy Hannigan team wine glasses, and we're like, this is cool, we're gonna do those.
That's amazing. So for everybody listening in, first of all, this is amazing stuff. Thank you. That's number one. Number two is, for those that are listening in, because they're at different levels, right? Where would you suggest that somebody start if they were going to say, wow, this is a great idea. I want to do a VIP for my past clients segment and then do events. Where would you say, hey, start here and then gradually get to where?
Yeah. Don't start with 12.
Yeah. I think one of the real keys to this is to kind of create a key, like certain details that you want to know about all of your clients. What I mean by that would be, if I was going to give you $1, Tristan, and you had to spend it today, what would you spend that $1 on? Right. And we would go back and forth, and I'd kind of walk you up the ladder of $1, $5,
we
10.
can do it really quick or not.
We can do it if you want to.
Let's do it.
Okay. So if I gave you $1, Leslie, what would you spend it on?
And you should do this when you have a buyer's appointment or a seller's appointment, and at the end say, hey, can we play a little game? Because I want to learn a little bit more about you, and then you do it.
So if I gave you $1, you had to spend it today, what would you spend it on?
I'd give it to the homeless people on the corner of North Druid and Peachtree.
So what's important to you about homelessness?
Atlanta has one of the highest adolescent homelessness populations in the country because they age out of foster care. And I'm just really passionate about it.
Right. So what would I have learned? Right. I would learn that she was compassionate and like really what she was paying attention to in her community. And now let's say I've got $5, give you $5, you got to spend it. What are you going to spend it on?
Starbucks.
What do you get at Starbucks?
A tall blonde.
Of course you do. So what if you got something left over? Tall blonde doesn't cost $5.
Cake pop for one of the kids.
What kind?
Beta likes the pink ones.
Okay. You see what I'm doing? I'm just going deeper and understanding. All right. Now I got her daughter involved with it. All right. Now $10, you got to spend it. What are you spending it on?
Chick-fil-A.
And what do you get at Chick-fil-A?
What do I want or what do I get?
Both.
Well, I want the fried nuggets and fries, but I get the grilled nuggets and the kale salad, bottle of water.
Now, why is that?
Because I'm 41 and I have to watch my weight.
Okay. All right. $25, you got to spend it. What are you spending it on?
A bottle of rosé.
What kind?
French.
Okay. So not California. Sorry, guys.
Oh, why did I say that?
All right.
All right.
I heard California. That's all right.
Particular brand?
Well, actually Whispering Angel on sale right now at Costco.
Okay. All right. Now last one, $50. You got to spend it out the door. What are you going to get?
Home Goods.
What do you get at Home Goods?
I mean, who's to know until you go?
Right. So if I make it through all of the contingencies in a contract, what can I do?
Well, geez, you get it done after that. You know all the information about this person. Now you can connect deeper with them. That's a beautiful part.
I could make a donation to the homeless charity for her, right? Congratulations, you made it through. We just want to say, how excited we are for you, and we're actually donating this in your honor. We could go look at property, or maybe I show up for a listing presentation or whatever, any interaction, and I'm bringing her grilled nuggets. Or if I want to be really, really nice, I might bring her the fried nuggets and say, I know you said you wanted the grilled ones, but you don't need the grilled ones, all right? You're skinny. You need the fried ones. They're better. But all of this stuff just gives us data, right, that allows us to have better conversations with our people and get closer to them. And instead of me calling and just throwing up on people about the market, I want to talk about what they want to talk about. Like, I know what football team they cheer for. I know what kind of wine they drink. I know, where they vacation. I know their dogs' names, right? I know all this stuff about people, and it lives in the database and
in
command. And then obviously the next step is to really go deep with that on the smart plans to connect that data. It does some of that heavy lifting for you.
I love that. So then you're telling us that are listening in, hey, let's start with those people that are closest to us, right? Our past clients, our core sphere, and then just dive in a little bit deeper and get this data that we need, because I don't think we can get to that next step without truly understanding them, right?
So true.
Yeah, I want to understand what they like, what's important to them, and then I need to understand what is the win, the WHEN, for every person in the database. And that really is a very simple question. Tristan, what does your dream home look like? And I want to activate them, right? I want to get them in dream mode. And then when do you plan to be settled in that house? What's stopping you from moving and being in that house? What needs to happen for that to happen?
That's a beautiful question. I just wrote that down and I'm highlighting it.
Well, now that you know that about, if you knew the win for every person, wouldn't that allow you to set up an action plan for everybody in the database?
100%. You just went to their motivation, like, hey, what's the key motivating factor here?
And then really, like, that question, when you can get that question, is at these small granular events. So when you're having these family photo sessions and you only have one family there at a time, you're able to go deep. So that's where these VIP events have been so great, because we can prepare for people when they come. We know that, I mean, if we have 25 people, I mean, we could pull 25 CMAs, right? We can have strong conversations when they're there. So that's really helped with VIP. And I know we're off virtual topic a little bit with virtual events.
I mean, everything
that you're talking about
it's everything that you're talking about is that, right? Because you're talking about all the back end stuff before you get to the front end things, right? So we've already talked about the event that you did with the Easter event, right? Where you dropped off that for your VIPs, about 120. Then we talked about the fireside chat with that, which I think is really important. So that's something we can apply right now, even if we're a single agent team or brokerage. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah. Before I lose my train, the other win question that I asked Tristan is, when was the last time you thought about moving?
Yeah, you do ask that a lot.
And that way I don't have to ask them, like, who that wants to buy and sell real estate. I'm concerned with them, right? When's the last time you thought? What stopped you? What got in the way of you, basically taking action on those thoughts?
Love that question too. That's a very powerful question, man.
Yeah. So once we now know, okay, what's stopping you? Is that still important to you to move? I mean, are you still having these conversations? And now I kind of isolate what's stopping them. And I'm not even talking about real estate in some cases. Like, I might be referring them to my financial planner. I might be referring them to my banker, right? We got to save money, or, we're working on this thing right now. And, how's that working for you? How can I support you in solving that so that you can get to that dream home, get to that next step?
You're being the connector.
Yeah, I love that. You're making a difference at that point. All right. We've got about a minute left. So anything you want to add here in closing?
Individual agents or teams. KW Connect has amazing virtual events already planned for you. And a lot of people do not know about them. So if you don't, go to KW Connect, type in virtual scavenger hunt. It's amazing for families. It was our first virtual event and we loved it. We're going to do it again this fall. The second one was a virtual trivia night. That's a completely different segment of your database. We had fun with that. It's already done. KW has done it upright. And then the last one is the first time homebuyer seminar they put together. We did that as well. And that was just not for our database, but we actually used Command to attract unmets to sign up for that. And so use those tools. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, we're working with KW right now on actually a virtual event class. We film it tomorrow. It's going to be 6 classes, like 6, 10, 15-minute segments. So look for that because it's coming.
I love it. And if you missed their session during Mega Camp, you went over a few of those things as well. The scavenger hunt there. So look for Andy and Leslie's Mega Camp breakout. That was really good.
Thanks, Tristan.
Thank you.
And I'm retyping that question. When was the last time you thought about moving? Right? That was the question.
That was the second one. And the first one was, hey, what's your dream home look like? And when do you plan to be settled in that home?
Yeah, you gave him 3. He got it. He got the last one.
Got it. Settled in that home. All right. Typed it up. Leslie, Andy, thank you so much. That was very, very kind of you to both be on. It's a double treat. So thank you. And if there's anything else I can do for you guys to help you guys out, just reach out to me. You're a pleasure to talk to. And I took a lot of notes. So
we appreciate you. Thanks for all you're doing for the industry.
So much, Tristan.
Thank you. Thank you too. Have an awesome day. And I hope your back feels better, Leslie.
Thank you. Bye, Tristan.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody.